Okay, it's 6 o'clock. We'll call the October 21st meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Nick Beal. Here. Ronald Stafford. Here. Rick Jennings. Oh, he's there. There.
We can see him. We know he's here.
He's on there.
Don Martinez.
Here.
Ron Mays. Gary Vanzani.
Here.
You're good to go.
Okay.
Eckert.
Here.
There we go.
Stand for the pledge of allegiance, please. Nick, would you lead us?
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which is stands one
nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and
justice for all.
Entertain a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Good motion to approve tonight's
I
agenda.
got a motion by Don
Second.
Martinez, a second by Nick Beal. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. The same with the consent agenda. We have 3 on the agenda tonight: Crafty Canary, Ace Liquor, and 7-Eleven. 3 entities have not had any violations, so they're allowed to be on the consent agenda and be mass approved.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I got a motion
Second.
by Don Martinez, a second by Nick Hill. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Name on the meetings of October 7th.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the October 7th, 2025 City Council regular meeting minutes.
I got a motion by Don Martinez,
Second.
second by Nick Hill. Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Mr. Galush out of town this week. He has his enclosure. I'm sure you all have time to read it. Mr. Harriman, your enclosure, you have anything to add?
Sir.
Good, thank you. Any questions of Mr. Harriman or his report? Okay, we'll move on to City Police Chief Vanelli as a replacement.
Good evening, Council. Sergeant Burrows on behalf of Chief Vanelli, who due to prior commitments is also out of state. I believe he intended to join us this evening by Zoom. Haven't seen him up there yet, but
Oh,
let's see. The report for the month of October for the police department. The PD had 2 officers attend and complete a field training officer certification course in the town of Lyman. That brings the current field training officer staff of the police department up to 4, including the specialty group sergeant, which is yours truly. Number 2, the Walsenburg Police Department, if I can direct your attention to Chief Vanelli's attachment number 1. The Walsenburg Police Department has been awarded 2 mobile fingerprint readers from the Colorado Bureau of Investigation under the Adam Walsh Implementation Act grant program. Chief Vanelli is currently awaiting the intergovernmental agreement, which will be sent forthwith for his signature and the mayor's. Item 3, if I can direct your attention to his attachment number 4. The police department will be participating in this year's community trunk or treat program on October 31st. Street closure applications have been submitted to the appropriate entities. Attachment number 4 that I've drawn your attention to is the flyer that we've been passing out to area businesses to their participation. Item number 4, if I may direct your attention to attachment number 3. We're holding another community outreach event, Coffee with a Cop. This will be the second such event, I believe, that we've held. This one will be hosted by the Branch Cafe on Walsen Avenue near the Spanish Peaks Library. That flyer is also attached for your review. Item 5, officers this month are wearing pink badges. Several of the community have commented on them, and the simple explanation, we are doing so in recognition and support of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Item number 6, the police department, I apologize. Attachment number 2 is a letter from Chief Vanelli to the council. I will read. Item 6 is mention of a gift to the police department for not groups. City Council, Walsenburg Police Department would like to express our sincere appreciation to the Speak Up Southern Colorado Protest Group for their generous gift card for pizza from Gub Gubs. The Walsenburg Police Department would seek council's approval to accept this gift card and pay it forward to include all city staff to enjoy pizza in the council chambers at a time to be determined later. Respectfully, Bill Vanelli, Chief of Police. The final attachment, number 7, is going to be calls for service as far as October 17th. Just to summarize, I will point out that the police department, according to this report, fielded 294 calls in the is included. I would respectfully submit, however, that I don't believe that a number is accurate. There are still some ongoing issues between the police department and the Huerfano County Dispatch computer system, and how calls are categorized between what used to be the sheriff's office jurisdiction and what is now the Walsenburg Police Department's jurisdiction. So some of the automation isn't quite fixed yet, and not all the calls get attributed to us when this report is ran. So I therefore submit that number is probably conservatively low. That concludes the police department report for the month of October. Are there any questions I may attempt to answer?
No, thank you very much.
This is one.
That one?
It's points out the police department's council
Yes, sir.
to accept gift cards. Is that to be done tonight or?
I don't believe so, sir. I think that can be communicated directly with Chief Vanelli upon his return next week.
And we have to check with Mr. Hyatt, because I know he's really thinks it's a contentious point when anybody receives any kind of, he wouldn't let anybody play golf because the employee benefit type deal. So we'll
Understood.
have to check with council for sure.
I do believe that is the basis of the request of the council, sir. We wanted to be gracious in accepting their generosity, but the entire city crew should benefit, and not just the police department.
Right? But we got to make sure we can even do that. So we'll have to do that first.
Yes, sir.
Just another point too, number 3, is that trunk or treat, is that where it's usually held?
Yes, sir. We are working in conjunction with the lady that normally organizes it for the community. I apologize, her name escapes me off the top of my head, but we're coordinating with her. We're not necessarily spearheading it or holding our own event.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, citizens' comments. About 3 minutes.
Carlotta Portella.
Coming up together.
Hi.
The first on the agenda.
Could you state your full name and spell it, please?
Good evening. My name is Carlotta Portella. It's spelled Carlotta. My last name is spelled Tella. It's a very long name.
Yeah.
First grade was challenging.
You need to do that for the minutes.
That's
Thanks.
all right. I have a speech to read and a presentation. Our County Democratic Party, together with the members of the Los Animas County Democrats, have embarked on a powerful postcard campaign to voice our strong opposition to the use of the core civic prison for ICE detentions. This is an example of the card, and you all should have be very familiar with these. I've gotten several of them. The outpouring of support from concerned citizens who have joined our cause has been truly inspiring. Despite our efforts, it is disheartening to note we have yet to receive any indication that our voices have been heard by the relevant authorities. The issue of immigration and the government's policies surrounding it is undeniably complex and emotional, eliciting a range of impassioned reactions. It is a pressing national concern that has now taken on local significance. While we acknowledge that the prison facility in question is privately owned, we also firmly believe that those in positions of influence hold the power to sway the outcome of this contentious issue. As elected representatives, your perspective on this matter is undoubtedly different from that of ordinary citizens. You are tasked with carefully considering all facets of the issue, weighing the economic, legal, and moral implications of potential decisions. It is crucial to understand that the choices made today could have far-reaching consequences, both in the short and long term. And many in our community do not see the utilization of this facility as beneficial under any circumstances. While the enforcement of immigration laws is undeniably important, it is imperative to ensure that such enforcement upholds our fundamental principles of freedom and due process. The current approach, widely criticized, is inhumane, eroding the very foundations of our legal system and the values we hold dear. The recent No Kings event served as a platform for concerned citizens to amplify their voices, adding their names and sentiments to a poster that we are presenting to you, our representatives. We urge you to take into account the heartfelt messages, postcards, the sentiments expressed on the signed poster, and the collective concerns voiced by your constituents as you navigate the complexities of this issue and support the values of our community. We implore you to ensure that the values of justice, compassion, and human dignity guide your decision-making in the days ahead. Thank you.
You're right on 3 minutes.
To Mayor Zani,
Sure.
it's just a lot of people signed.
You want me to take it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Like the rubber band with the back on.
Overnight, mate. You'll get one.
That was my 3 minutes.
That was 3 minutes.
Oh, she has, I'm just going to stand here with you.
You gotta have moral support. And Edie Flanagan. EIE Flanagan, FLANAGIN. I live in Walsenburg. I know that because Core Civic is a privately owned building and corporation, that it may be impossible to stop ICE if they wanted to come, but I can see a way that the city could deter them coming if we put an extra fee on each bed, occupied or not, of $20 a day for water fees, because it's going to cost the city some money to make sure that everything is running out there properly. I was on the city council when the prison was operational, and it was a great moneymaker. However, I can see each of those people that occupied the beds there had their due process. However, ICE facilities, maybe not so much. So if the city could put maybe an additional $20 per bed per day, occupied or unoccupied, I think that might be a good deterrent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stephanie Tucker.
If not a deterrent, at least a moneymaker.
I'm here to comment on public safety and accountability. Mayor Zani.
State your name, please, and spell it.
STEFFANY TUCKER. Mayor Vanzani, members of the City Council, City Administrator, good evening. As I just said, my name is Stephanie Tucker. I am a resident of Walsenburg. I stand before you tonight because our local law enforcement and justice system have critically failed to protect me and have violated my rights as a victim of a serious crime. The facts of my case, filed under Police Report 25W00531, are clear. On September 12th, 2025, I was the victim of an assault from behind that resulted in 3 excruciatingly painful broken ribs. My primary concern tonight is that this severe act of violence is being treated with unacceptable lightness. The failure of charge classification. 3 broken ribs constitutes what is legally defined in the state of Colorado as serious bodily injury. Under the Colorado revised statutes, any assault resulting in SBI, serious bodily injury, mandates the filing of a felony assault charge, likely assault in the 2nd degree. Handling an injury of this, of this severity as a misdemeanor is a fundamental misclassification of a violent crime. Downgrades the seriousness of the offense, compromises the safety of the community, and ultimately tells the perpetrator that their actions have minor consequences. This is a failure of justice at the most basic level. The compounding failure of protection. The system's failure did not stop with misclassification. A criminal restraining order was issued on October 4th against the perpetrator, Alicia Bryant. 2 days later, on October 6th, that protective order was violated. It is likely our local system failed to enforce the court order meant to keep me safe. 11 days ago, on October 10th, I sent a very detailed email to every single person on the DS, to the city administrator, outlining the facts and the felony level injury, the restraining order violation, and the lack of investigation. In the 11 days since my urgent plea, I've received 0 response, 0 acknowledgement, and 0 effort to comply with the Colorado Crime Victims' Rights Act. Demands of immediate action. This is not a complaint about bureaucratic oversight. This is a public safety crisis that starts with failing to correctly charge violent crime. I'm requesting a public commitment tonight on 2 immediate actions. Charge review. I demand that the city administrator and the chief of police immediately confer with the district attorney to ensure the initial assault is reclassified and prosecuted as a felony assault based on the verifiable evidence of serious injury.
I got a chart. Your 3 minutes is up.
Just
Okay, go ahead.
accountability review. I demand a full internal review into the Walsenburg Police Department's lack of investigation, lack of enforcement of the protective order, and the subsequent 11 days of silence from city leadership regarding this grave matter. I deserve to feel safe in Walsenburg, and our community deserves a system that accurately charges and aggressively prosecutes violent crime. Thank you.
Laura?
Carmen Lara, Lara. Have you all received a budget for 2026?
Not till next meeting, I understood.
Okay, because there is actually from YOLA, a local government budget calendar that council, and I brought this up before, needs to.
You have a proposed 2026 budget. Just so you know, and then the public hearing is set for November 18th.
That budget was to be distributed to the governing body 15th. I know that hasn't happened. So I'll give them to my girl here. And she can share some copies with you all, because those are the rules that you need to follow for a budget. If you're not following them, you're going to get in serious trouble. Okay. Regarding the presentation regarding the addresses needing attention, this is very biased. It's very bad. And you have my house on here, and I have spent all summer painting it, removing trees and trash and fixing holes in the roof. But yet my neighbor to the left of me, to the east-west, has weeds this tall, trash in the yard, broken windows where people are going into that house. Todd refused to let anybody go into that house or do anything with it. So that's bad, because now it's sitting vacant, rotting away with people going in it. The house right next to it is in disarray. The house next to it is okay. The house, well, there's no house, the field is full of weeds. And yet I don't see weeds. Because they're really bad. And there's a house that's knocked down as well. So I've been driving around. There are a lot of council members that need to clip their weeds and take care of business along with some employees. So I think this is biased, prejudicial, because like I said, I've been working hard on my house. I'd like to know if you're going to answer any of my questions that I sent you. Because I send you correspondence, you're supposed to reply. And it's usually at a meeting if you don't respond to a person. But you don't answer questions most of the time here. You don't answer them when I send correspondence to you. How are we supposed to get answers to our questions?
I answer your questions via email most of the time.
You haven't answered any of mine lately.
Oh, I haven't had time lately, no.
Well, somebody needs to answer them because they go to everybody.
I see Mr. Hyatt's answer some of your questions.
Sometimes he does. Regarding, well, I'll ask you one of my questions.
Time's up.
Okay, because you don't work with the citizens. You're not for the citizens.
What's your opinion? Next.
You got Jay Dino on Zoom. And according to the agenda, it's supposed to have his correct name first and last.
There is not a J Dino that exists to your knowledge.
I just know that his name is different from Jay Dino. I just know that.
Move on. He's the last one.
And there's nobody else in there.
Yeah, I'm in here. Hello,
Who is this?
Kevin Shepherd.
Oh, I didn't see your hand, sir.
Sorry.
I'm just trying to find out if you guys have done anything with the skate park or had any plans going with the skate park or found out about the money that supposedly the county took or what's going on with the skate park.
I have not yet.
I talked to you guys last week also a while ago about this puddle underneath the train bridge, and doesn't look like anybody's dealing with it, and nobody's dealing with my request. I filed a open records request to find out about anybody else's complaints about the puddle under the train bridge, and I'm not getting any response about that either.
Yeah, I don't know what we do about the puddle under the bridge. It's probably lower in the river. We could fill in the road, I guess. That'd be the only thing I know to do.
Responsibility
I
of,
don't know.
I mean, is that the city street?
It's been like that for years. I could probably fix it myself in a day. I mean, it's that easy. It's really, you just put some rocks there in a pipe so it drains into the creek. I don't understand. I blew my car up going through that puddle. I couldn't tell how deep it was. Now I'm going to file a claim about it.
Okay.
There's more other ways to go than that way.
Is that a city street goes under them trucks? It's 8th Street, kind of.
But it's-
Burlington North and Santa Fe, and it's only supposed to be used for
Emergencies.
It says emergency only, and has a 10-foot restriction.
No, there's no signage or anything. In fact, there's a sign there that's facing the opposite way that tells you to look out for the height, and it's not even facing the right way. You see it after you come out from the bridge, and you say it's for emergency services. Okay, so be it. What if there's a fire here at my house and the fire trucks can't get through because it's too full of water? It's ridiculous. What if I need an ambulance? The ambulance can't get through either. So it is a safety issue.
Fire truck can't go through there because it's 14 foot, so they know they can't do that access because it's a 10-foot restriction.
Okay, but what about an ambulance? Are you saying it's okay to leave that full of water all the time? It's not. How many people have complained? I've asked to have the information to tell in the request who's complained about this, and it's just being ignored. It's been well over 12 days or something, you know?
We've looked into previous service orders from Rick Cordana's request and have found none that anybody's complaining about the bridge down there. It's been an issue since the HESCO bags were put in 2017 because the HESCO bags was put over the drain pipe. So it's been like that for at least 8 years. I've been there almost every day since I spoke to Ms. the lender about it, and I haven't seen 1 ounce of water in there. So there isn't any water in there.
Since when?
The last week?
Last week that Mr. Colander reported it to us.
So I don't understand what your point is.
I don't know how you moved your car if there was no water settling in there.
How what? No, I'm not lying. My car, I went through there. I had a wind in my car and the engine blew up because of it. Okay.
Okay, we'll look into that, Miss.
So kind of what Mr. Herman was saying about if it's an emergency access, is there any way that we can maybe put signs up? And since Mr. what's his name, Fitzgerald, what's his name? Since he brought that to our attention, maybe we do go ahead and make that, mark that is emergency access only and prevent the public from using it, and they can thank him.
Good luck. Every time the train comes, everybody goes under it.
Well, that's why it'll be marked as emergency, and then law enforcement can do what they need to do.
Yeah, we can put emergency, it's at the end of the cul-de-sac road, that ends the city street, but on 9th Street. So we'll have to buy some signage.
Yes.
Put it up, advertise in the paper and on Facebook or whatever, and measure out the 10 feet and get permission from Burlington Northern.
Thank you. I mean, I just think that's the direction we need to go. This is the first time I've heard this complaint. I've lived in Walsenburg most of my life. I've used that several times. I know it gets flooded when water comes through, but it's apparently a big issue. So let's just take care of it and cut the access to everybody but emergency.
Yeah, disenfranchise the city. Good job.
Good job.
You guys are brainless.
Your time's up. Thank you. Next.
Thank you, Ms. Herman.
My
John,
time's not up because you guys have been talking over my time.
Time ended before anybody spoke.
Well, I'll have to review and find out if you're appropriate for doing this. You didn't do it last time you spoke over me.
John Denicola,
And him too.
Tim.
John,
Hello, evening mayor, evening council. By now, the mayor, Mr. Hyatt, and Ms. Mays have received an email with a letter of intent to sue the city of Walsenburg for my illegal removal from Zoom in the last public comment meeting. When I am on a public comment and I'm thrown out based off of the mayor saying there's only so much people can take and this is going nowhere, and the woman behind me who comes in with a single name speaks for her 3 minutes uninterrupted, except to answer questions. It's called viewpoint discrimination. And I'm surprised at the guy that's sitting here as the city attorney that didn't advise the mayor what he did was unlawful and illegal and also violated the open meetings laws. I'm absolutely flabbergasted by this crap. Again, you have been served your letter of intent. You will get a certified return receipt copy sent in the mail. And the best part is, folks, I'm not looking for money like these people claim. I'm looking for change. And what I requested, so everybody out here knows, is that the people that are working for you understand that basic redress of grievances and freedom of speech is allowed in these meetings. You can say what you want to them. And then we're going to have a discussion with the attorney about the Fourth Amendment violations that you guys just created by making people sign in with first and last names, because it's not required. It's your ordinance. That's what you want. It's not. I can't believe you guys have gone this far. At the end of the day, all I want you guys to do is take up training on First Amendment training. I also want to know, because nobody's answered this question, what it is that I would be arrested for if I go into City Hall and the police department and I decide to record. Nobody has yet to answer that question, not even the attorney. Do you know why they're not answering that question, folks? Because the sign that they have on their doors is not enforceable, because there is no way they can enforce it. Even the attorney knows that there's case law upon case law upon case law that would bury this city in legal litigation. and they don't need it. But instead of removing it, they want to try and deprive you of what is rightfully your duty to do. And if you had been recording these people, you wouldn't be paying 2 city clerks and 2 assistant city clerks because the first 2 turned around and decided to create water issues. Great. I'm glad we're all on the same page. Dan, maybe you should do your job and advise your clients. That would be greatly appreciated. The fact that violating the law
We're at 3
doesn't
minutes.
help.
Oh,
Thank you.
Okay, time's up. Thank you. Next. That's it. Okay, first presentation, we're gonna try to hold these to 5 minutes if we all possible. Mr. Colander has a presentation or an enclosure.
Well, I do have a code. I was gonna use it. Planning and zoning is the one that asked me to be here. You know, I intended this to planning and zoning. And it's just on vacant buildings, problems we're having with vacant buildings. And then this disclaimer I read, I'm just gonna read the last sentence. This is only presented to encourage and motivate ideas into action. So, vacant for years. I don't think anybody knows why. I don't think anything's been done to it. I've been here 5 years. I don't know how long it's been vacant. This one here has been either sold or rented.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
not sure what they're doing with it. They're putting for sale sign cars out there. I'm not sure if that's even something they're supposed to do.
Is
Huh?
business license at that address?
They have, not at that address though. No, that's true. They do have a business license.
Electrician,
But I'm saying a business to sell cars.
no.
This has been vacant for years. It's for sale, but I don't know how anybody's gonna sell it when it's looking like it is. So it would be interesting to see if there's something that can be done with that. This has been vacant for a while, and the city has to take care of the weeds in front because it's right on 7th.
So why don't we send the owner a bill?
Just sit there and, okay. A couple issues with this one is that the commercial building is falling apart. And it's been noted to be falling apart onto the house next door that's in very nice condition. Okay, so, is it fair to the homeowner who obviously cares to have a vacant building sitting there as long as it has? And then I love this place. This is a beautiful place on 7th Street. But if across the street from it are these 2 vacant buildings. And then this one is down the street. Okay. I mean, who owns these buildings? They've been vacant for years. All these buildings do is emphasize to passerbyers that things in this town must be not advancing possibly. This guy really takes care of his property, but it's across the street from this. So the homeowner's value here has to be low because of what's going on across the street.
Yep.
This house here on 408, I'm sorry, Russell and 7th has been next door to this vacant house for as long as I've lived here. I don't know how long that house has been vacant, but this house on the corner is a beautiful house. Who's going to want to buy it? Possibly with that house next door. And then you got the largest building in the city across the street from it. That's just sitting there deteriorating. Now, I don't know what's up with this place. It's been sitting there for years. This place burned down, no fire insurance. So now it's the city or the county or whomever who's going to be taking care of it with the bill. PA that we're trying to get through to get it, taken care of when it comes to the asbestos. That's probably 2 years down the road. It's just going to sit there. And then the next page, hopefully you guys looked at this before, my presentation, but I'm just going to read the stuff in red. In Colorado, commercial property insurance that covers fire damage is not mandated by state law. So there's really not much you can do about it. Okay. Arguments for mandating a fire insurance is the burden on public funds, the economic disruption. Yes, the city in Colorado could potentially require businesses to have fire insurance, particularly if it's a home rule city, which we're not, we're statutory. Okay. Home rule authority gives cities the ability to enact regulations that are more specific and tailored to their community's needs than general state law. Statutory cities are limited to powers expressly granted to them by the state. There's an idea. Maybe we should be a home rule so that we can maybe put an ordinance in place that mandates fire insurance so that that building doesn't sit there for 3 or 4 years. And then this is the old Walsenburg Mercantile that, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with this and how long we're going to let it sit. And then right next to the Fox Theater is a lot that I think the city should purchase anyways.
I called that in.
Turn that into a parking lot. But right now it's just 10 inches of, or hell, it's
And
we.
by 3 feet.
3 feet of weeds. Okay. This is just a list of properties that are categorized as, you know, need some help. But why have a vacant building ordinance in the first place? Vacant buildings, a vacant building ordinance protects public safety, stabilizes your property values, encourages redevelopment by holding owners accountable for the maintenance and the security of unoccupied buildings. The primary benefits fall into 3 categories: public safety, economic stability, and community revitalization. It discourages criminal activity. It reduces fire hazards. It improves first responders' safety, removes health hazards. The intent of a building ordinance is to address the significant problems vacant properties create for communities, including public safety risks, blight, and increased public service costs. The economic stabilization, it protects property values, incentivizes redevelopment, generates revenue for the municipality. Registration and penalty fees provide a revenue stream that helps local governments, local cities, cover the costs associated with dealing with the problem properties, including administrative work and cleanup efforts. It increases local tax revenue. It promotes neighborhood stability, increases government efficiency, and it boosts civic pride. Streamline city administration, easier owner identification. Came up this morning. No, last night, I'm sorry, in the Main Street Committee meeting that, you know, they were asking, well, who owns all these vacant buildings? Well, we don't know. And a vacant ordinance will have an effect on that. Do I knew that, but I mean that completely over the board. But there's a lot of buildings that nobody knows who owns them.
Do we not know?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good question.
Lists I've seen have property owners attached to every single property.
But a registration system gives local governments an up-to-date registry of owners and other responsible parties, making it easier and faster to hold them accountable when problems arise. And then proactive code enforcement. Having a registry allows the code enforcement officer to shift from the reactive mode to a more proactive one, knowing that he knows where to go to get the information. Trying to do this fast. Property maintenance, it helps keep the exterior upkeep, cleanliness, graffiti removal, weather protection. It secures entry points, repairing drainage or damage, security system, fencing, inspections and liability, insurance. Depending on the location, commercial and industrial property owners may be required to maintain liability and fire insurance on a vacant property. I mean, this is keeps on going on. The vacant building ordinance violations, it's an escalating fine that if you have a vacant building for 1 year, it costs you this. If it goes vacant the next year, it costs you this. It's putting money into the bank, here at the city, so that we now have the money to go out and take care of it if we need to, so that we can keep the blight, the vacant look of the city. I mean, you should talk to Main Street right now, the committee meeting. I mean, they're talking about, owners, who live next door to other owners' businesses and helping them paint and, whatever, do whatever they can to make the place look like it's not vacant. Squatters. I mean, you have squatters in these buildings. And in some areas, squatters who occupy a vacant property for an extended period of time can eventually make it a legal claim. It's hard to get squatters out of a building. So that's what, hopefully we can eliminate that. I'm gonna keep on going until I get to,
Keep it going. Need more money, more
Way
power.
past 5 minutes.
I know I am.
Hey,
you know, it's funny is
The stuff he's reading, right?
Primary upside
Isn't
is
the
holding
city
owners
in
accountable for the
violation?
maintenance and the security of unoccupied property.
Plenty.
What in the world is wrong with that sentence? To the point where we've allowed it to go rampant, where it's not happening. It protects the public, stabilizes the neighborhood, and promotes economic recovery. I mean, it does so much. You know, what is the downside? Yeah, it's going to cost the owner some money. If that's the reason we don't do it, then I don't know if that's a good enough reason. Really should try to figure out how do we make these owners be more responsible for the vacant buildings. What are some of the alternatives to vacant buildings? Please look that over. The common statement around this town is, why has code enforcement not been effective?
Answer.
Huh?
What's the answer?
Our code enforcement officer has issued hundreds of abatements and summons these past 4 years. I know, I've taken them all. They come to court, the judge finds the violator either guilty or not guilty. Guilty issues the fines. About 10% of the fines were paid that day. The fines not paid are usually never paid. A property lien can be placed on the property, but the city only recoups the fine when the house is sold. I cannot begin to tell you over the decades how many fines have not been paid. The constant code violations have gotten used to the fact that fines are hard to collect. Hence, these constant violators do not care and respect the court system that we have in place. Managing property liens is overwhelmingly, and especially with the employee turnover that the city experiences. So what other means might the city have to recoup fines? Some of those other means is administrative citations and fines. How about a utility shutoff?
I was thinking that.
Okay, you got abatement and invoicing. There's a lot of things, civil lawsuits, receiverships, damages. I mean,
Can we not send these to collection?
I don't know. Yeah, probably. But what we don't have is any organization, any direction on how to accomplish that goal and all these goals. Pueblo has a vacant building ordinance.
Yeah, that's the longest 5 minutes
Hopefully
I
you
ever
looked it over
heard.
a little bit. Okay, they see the quality in it. They see the upside to it. And who knows, maybe we should be a home rule city. I don't know. Denver's a home rule. And there's a lot of cities that want to actually tailor what happens in their city. And a home rule is more allowing that than a statutory. So that might be an answer. I don't know.
So Mayor, if I recall, planning and zoning discussed this. And I was excited, I thought planning and zoning was gonna pass it and it was gonna come here. Planning and zoning shot it down.
I don't know, did they?
That is untrue.
You guys didn't vote to do it because there was a lot of people that said that it would be a burden. So what was the outcome of what planning and zoning talked about?
Here and present to city council is going to be up to what an ordinance could be, just like I'm here to talk about another ordinance. We did not shoot them down. We asked.
I thought you guys voted it down.
Thanks.
Nothing was ever passed, I guess is the problem.
Well, yeah.
No.
It was an absolute discussion, it was a presentation, a discussion.
There's no reason.
Through the city council, because planning and zoning can't actually do anything.
Same shit over and over again.
We can pass it.
Okay, any just
I just,
listen to Stacy's first?
one question. You said code enforcement, proactive versus reactive. What do you mean by that?
Well, a code enforcement officer goes to a vacant building and it is very difficult for him to find out who the owner is. He's got to go to the county sometimes, and sometimes the county doesn't have the information. I mean, it's amazing. But if you've got, and it is for residences too. I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
commercial, but it is for residences.
I mean, I came to a meeting here a couple months ago. The list was laid out, the addresses were there, the owners were there. And it was like, what do we do with this? It's like, well, send the owners letters, let's start contacting them. But every property had a property owner attached to it. And I mean, if they own it, aren't they paying some kind of property tax? How can county not have the information?
That's fine,
It's
but
property.
what are you still gonna do with the information?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think that there needs to be something in place that we start putting some real teeth to it.
Oh, I agree with you. How are you gonna do that?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like if we're putting fines and not paying it, we'll start working with the collection agency. Collection agency is gonna get their money and then you're gonna get your share.
What we need to do is put it step by step how we're gonna try to get this accomplished. And I think that, I think that could work. But we also need to know all the different legalities involved with every step so that we're not stepping, wrongly. And it's, right now, we're just, finding people, they're not paying the fines. Court's only once a month. You forget about it between the.
I just remember the planning and zoning, the big pushback was property owners are not, like, this is gonna discourage them from, I don't remember the whole conversation, but that was the premise of the.
No power to control people.
So it's just a question of. You're right, it's gonna burden them. There's nothing else that it's gonna do. It's gonna burden them. But maybe they'll understand that the reason they're doing this is that maybe they need to just do what it takes to keep their buildings and their locations looking like it's supposed to for everybody else.
But that's what I'm saying. So is
This is funny.
the vacant building, is the vacant building fee for buildings that look like what you presented tonight? What if somebody owns a property and it's clean, the weeds are kept up, the building's painted, like it's just empty because they don't have a building, but they're taking care of their property?
Nothing similar to what you're just saying.
That's what I'm saying. Like, is
That's an
that,
example of. it,
so,
You know,
so I mean, I didn't read all of Pueblo's and I mean, you brought this to my attention before, but is Pueblo's, does theirs differentiate that if you're taking care of the property and it's clean, then you don't pay the fees? Or is it simply, if it's vacant?
Simply vacant.
Yeah, if it's simply vacant, then,
I don't agree.
but if I'm paying utilities and all of that, I just don't have anything running out of there.
And it's
Is it
taken
really
care of.
vacant? Yeah.
Oh,
and there are ordinances in different cities that say that if you got a vacant building, but you don't live within 45 miles of that building, you gotta hire somebody and find somebody who lives within 45 miles to take care of that building.
Well, and that's a lot of the problem here. A lot of these buildings are owned by people who don't live in
I
most.
think that's right.
My opinion?
To make them do it. Yeah,
Absolutely,
really.
absolutely.
If they're not taking care of it.
Supper just
I
like,
mean,
What's wrong with the building that's already fine and you're wanting to fine them?
no, if it's fine, you don't have to find it.
That's, no, they're saying you gotta live within 45 miles.
We got
No matter where
plenty
you
of bad ones, clean up first.
45 miles. You find a friend, you
Just,
find.
just for being empty.
All I
it can
can
be in
tell you
pretty
is
good
that
shape.
you got 100,000, you got a lot of empty buildings with trash and weeds everywhere.
But you have some of them that don't have that.
I don't
Stand at the
disagree
mic
with
and
that.
talk.
So you put an ordinance together
Your
that
5
makes
minutes.
it more
For the ones that are.
positive for the ones that are not doing
But
it.
yours in Pueblo's ordinance says vacant. It
Make
says
yours
vacant only.
Make ours different.
Yeah, vacant is what I have a problem with.
Well, then. That's
Vacant
what the
and-
job is,
Wouldn't that apply to the
come up with
hotel?
Some verbiage that's gonna be.
It's like a vacant house, if it ever hits where you can't rent a house out, but you keep it all up and nice, you shouldn't be able to go tax them.
No, because if it looks good, you
I agree with
wouldn't
that.
go after them.
Well, they will.
But what about the guy
No, that
neighbor
wouldn't be.
who lets it go to pot?
Yeah.
I mean, you're doing everything you
So we
can. to
move
keep
on to
it
the
in your
next,
place.
so we move on to the next presentation?
Yes, we can. We can.
No, I don't believe so. Let's finish with Stacy.
So what directed the finance department to send people to collection agency? That never happened in California.
Point of order, Mr. Decker, you have the floor.
Planning and zoning did listen to the presentation. We greatly appreciated that. Actually, coincided with a presentation ordinance that I had drafted up, basically that follows along or similar to and encapsulates a lot of the ideas of properties that are not maintained, properties that are negligent, properties that are delinquent, properties that nobody's living there, and it's So the ordinance set out there in front of you, the presentation here was a little bit easier to put together. The biggest thing about it is the fines and the penalties. The definitions of what these buildings are can always be clarified as to what we want to consider it, just like what Rick presented. The advantage here is we don't have to go to the court every time somebody's violated. And it's the same way with what Rick's working. We don't have to keep going to the court for stuff. We can put fees and fines on stuff that allows the city to build up an amount large enough that a lien is appropriate. And something that we discussed about today also is that even though we're a statutory city, and this could be put in any one of these ordinances, this is here for discussion. This is really here for you guys to discuss what's going on. How do we address this? These are examples of how we can address it. These are examples of what we could charge. These are the problem. One of the things being a statutory city, we can't require fire insurance. However, if there's a vested interest in a property, we have a lien on a property. Conceivably, we could talk to Mr. Hyde about this. Conceivably, on the property, we can require the property owner to have fire insurance at that point. So conceivably, there's a legal measure that we can add into this such that we don't have to go to the court for this, but if there is a lien on a property that we have, we can put as a part of that lien requirement the ability for that homeowner or that business owner or the building owner to have fire insurance. So I'm glad Rick went first because he's got a lot of good pictures. He's also got the fact that when we're looking at these things, we're not looking at the nice property that the neighbor across the street from me on Sproul. It's a clean little property. Somebody comes by and mows the yard. They keep the gutters cleared and stuff like that. It's a nice little property. Mr. Martinez right across the street, his renters clean the property up. Everything's good to go. Go down the street on Spruce a little bit further. There's a burnt out building on the corner at Chaffee. Nothing's being done about that. There's also abandoned buildings along Sproul. There's along Spruce. You go any street within the city, there's either an abandoned, vacant, and the issue of ownership, which we don't address here, but I think we need to address in the ordinance in some way, shape, or form, is the ability to identify the actual owner because some of these are held by a trust. You send it to a PO box. It's somebody from out of state. They never respond. I feel that by filling that negligent property list, by building up a smarter list of vacant buildings and doing a little investigation, we can actually find the responsible party. And if there isn't a responsible party, if everybody's dead or people are just don't care and they don't want to be a part of it, we can eminent domain the property in some way, shape, or form. So Rick's presentation, which we really wanted you guys to hear, because it's sparking the discussion, and it sparks the discussion with pictures and actual examples. What I presented out here, and in accordance with what Pueblo did, mine triggered out of Denver. When I saw what they were doing out of Denver, we both got information that was very similar, but from different areas. And it's a means that the city can enact fines on either a daily basis or a yearly negligent property fee or something like that, such that we don't have to go to the court every single time. If you're in, you've got an issue with your property and you're not cleaning out your weeds and code enforcement goes by and issues you a writ, 2 weeks later, if you haven't cleaned it up, we can start a, $100 a day fee. Right? Or you pay that $100 and you have somebody come and clean it up. So this is for you to discuss. I know Rick and I will still push it. I'll probably come back to this in 2
Town's
months or
already
so. We'll talk
going
about it
into
at P&Z again.
the red.
But one of the things we need to
They're gonna
discuss,
keep
whether you
going
discuss
with
it
the fin-
tonight or put it on the schedule to discuss the ordinances, we would like the city to sit down and actually
Themselves?
have a discussion about how can we actually manage this? How can we actually charge people such a way that it's going to either incentivize them to take care of it, we're going to collect money, or in some way, shape, or form, we're going to find out who owns that property, maybe send them to collections, maybe taken over by eminent domain. But there are means and methodologies that we both are incumbent upon you guys to sit back and say, okay, how can we make this happen? Because if we don't do anything, it's going to be the status quo, and the status quo is not where the city and the citizens of the city really want to be. So are there any questions about the ordinances, the ideas, the fees, the thought processes here?
I don't believe it should be vacant. I believe in derelict, but not vacant.
Define vacant for yourself though.
Vacant, according to Pueblo's vacant building fees is not occupied for up to a year or something. I just read it a minute ago.
So that then gives the homeowner an opportunity to register their house as, I'm not gonna be here.
$150 a month.
Yeah, or whatever the yearly fee was, there's an idea for that. Look, you know what, I can't get down there, I can't fix it up right now. However, I can keep the front yard clear. I can make sure everything's in good order. However, I'm gonna pay the yearly fee such that you guys know that this is where you can find me. It's not a bad idea, right? I understand what you're saying. The one right across the street on Sproul, somebody does come and clean it up. There's no water turned on. There's no electricity turned on. The city's not getting anything of that other than a property tax line. So the benefit to the city is encouraging the owner to either register it, rent it, or sell it.
But you're also discouraging investors.
How?
Because they try to buy it, they're gonna have to pay these fees.
Oh, maybe the price comes down when they go to buy it because that covers the fees.
There's gotta be a lot of thought put into this before you just jump in.
A lot of thought, but I think what we're looking at here is low hanging fruit. There are plenty of opportunities that are low hanging fruit within the city limits that can be addressed with this. Now, if it puts a little bit of a fire under somebody's butt to do something ahead of time, I mean, police didn't go out and red tag the entire city on one day. They started with a certain area. They started a targeted area. And I think that's what Main Street also identified last night in the discussion, is having a targeted area to focus on first would be a good idea. Ordinance or not, discussion or not, this is where, when you put something in place, you can at least start working on the low hanging fruit.
And this was just brought forward just for food for thought, because there's not been enough thought put in it for obviously looking at the place for many years. And I just know that this town could just flourish if people drove through it and said, well, what a cute, pretty little town.
There's no doubt in my mind. But how you go about making that happen.
That's what you need. You either got to do
I'm not guaranteed that this is gonna do it.
No, I know, no,
You're not.
but you're also not guaranteed that it won't. So the point is that you gotta open the door. And you've got to research different cities and how they're doing it.
Build up the economy. That'll take care of a lot of this problem.
Well, yes, and I'm glad you brought it up that way, because with the gentrification of a lot of Colorado, you can't drive I-70 without, wondering why the hell you're on this planet. And once you get past, north of Colorado Springs, you're really questioning why you're on the road. The gentrification of Colorado and southern Colorado is happening. Now, if we have buildings that are negligent, abandoned, fire burnt out, and they've got a lot of fees and stuff on top of them, that gentrification technically could bring in some more revenue for the city, but we can also give them benefits that says, hey, you know what, if we'll reduce the fee by half, we'll reduce the lien by half if you have something up in a year. So those are things that can be discussed. And it would be beneficial, because then at that point in time, if somebody does come in and buy out, practical example, somebody buys out the hospital and we've got, $500,000 worth of liens on it for not doing any cleanup at all, right? They fix it up and clean it up. We get $25,000 out of that, but we also get a new building within a year. So the positive concept here, the positive thought process here is, how can we make this happen? Because can't never did anything. Right? We're not certain how this is going to work, never did anything. We can do things. We have to work through how we can do this, because
sometimes doing things makes it worse. You gotta be.
Can never do anything. Okay, so can never do anything. My father would be rolling over in his grave right now hearing me say that out loud.
Oh.
So that's just it, is we can.
Just got to keep the positive attitude. If you can, do the Ben Franklin close. What's the good for it? What's the bad for it? If there's more good, then you go with it. If there's more bad, then I guess you don't. But the point is that you can't go into it negatively. You have to go into it positively before the negative can.
Going into it cautiously.
Well,
Not pro or.
And I know you like to play devil's advocate. I appreciate that because you do point out things that are very helpful for us to address as well. However, even in planning and zoning, Ron mentioned, it's like, well, what if somebody's elderly and can't pay this fee? Well, let's work something out. Let's figure out a way to manage that. Right? Let's put something in there such that maybe we have a civic core for the city. We have volunteers that we bond and insure that they want to volunteer to mow somebody's yard. There's an opportunity. There's an opportunity for community engagement. There's an opportunity for people helping people. There's an opportunity for neighbors helping neighbors. So for every, item that comes up that says this is a no, okay, great. Let's find a way to say yes. I would much rather find a way to say yes to this than sit on our heels and do nothing for another year.
So,
Another 10 years.
so a couple of things. So, we hear all the time we don't have housing. So kind of to your point, if there's these homes and they're empty and they're just sitting there, that's housing. And, that's one of the things for, economic, people don't have a place to live. So how can you bring a business here if there's no place for people to live? So I agree with, some of this and what you're saying. A lot of the presentation that Rick gave us was on Main Street. That's in the URA zone. So the URA cannot grow if those buildings don't start getting in better, or if they're not in better shape. There's not more money coming through in TIF. It's just we're not getting anything. I mean, right now URA is counting on less than a handful of buildings that is building that. So how can we continue in the URA direction? We're doing these facade, things, but how can we do more if we don't build that tax base to get more? So I think there's that. You talked about eminent domain. URA has eminent domain authority. So if some of these are within that, maybe that's a direction that we need to start talking about and looking at, but with that, then you take on a building that, what do you do with it? So, I mean, there's a lot. I welcome the conversation. I think it needs to be done. I drive all over Colorado, drive to Trinidad, go drive around Trinidad. You do not see properties that look like the properties here. You don't. Whether it's residential, downtown, whatever, you don't see it. What are they doing differently than we are doing? I mean, it's hard to compare it to a Denver, to a Pueblo, to a Colorado Springs. Trinidad's barely close, it's bigger, but what are their laws? What are their code enforcement? What are they doing that?
Well, I mean, if
their yards
you're
are,
going to compare more apples to oranges than apples to apples on this one here. Mont Vista, Del Norte,
right?
all those areas through there, they're also a self-contained environment inside the SLV, so it's a bit more complex to say that. But even Colorado City and Rye up there, so it's they are doing something. Part of it comes down to the fact, and they don't have an industry per se. There's tourism. Tourism is technically an industry. One of the big factors we do have here is the fact that there's not a lot of people when you go out hiking and camping and biking here. So we do have that as an opportunity for tourism here that would draw people, that would then draw maybe a bike shop here, or maybe draw like a mini REI or something like that down the road. But it's the concept of coming up with ideas, coming up with things that we can think of to make that kind of a thing happen is what we're hoping to draw the discussion out. And such that within a year, we could have a nice little ordinance that covers maybe the whole thing.
So have you thought of any community involvement where it's not just council, it's not just city employees, it's not just, absolutely, that's why maybe that's like kind of the next step is get the community involved, get those business involved, like listen to people.
Well,
I mean, and a building fee doesn't have to be $1,000. I mean, if it's $60, that's $5 a month. It could be reasonable.
That community involvement, that's where you as a council person in your ward should be doing that. Each one of the ward council members should have a community get together to talk about maybe just this, to see what they have to say. And then you can bring it back in, you can Zoom it, maybe you can do it, a lot of different things, I don't know, but you're right about the community involvement. I think that they would very much have a lot of good ideas for us. And then you'll feel better about it because it's your community that's giving you the ideas. And then out of those community ideas, you come up with something that needs maybe to be talked to with Dan to see if it's legal to do something like this. I don't know. But, there's a lot of different things that need to be talked out positively and go into it positively so that you can eliminate the negatives within that discussion. Don't walk into it negatively first, looking for the positive. You're never gonna get anywhere that way.
Skate park first.
So I know you don't necessarily enjoy all of my creations via an ordinance, Ms. Mills. So I will point out that I did have a crafted ordinance at one point that I did not present that was to address city council members required once a quarter to have a community meeting. We haven't had a community meeting for 2.5 years.
Yep.
And, you know, so we haven't had a community meeting. You may talk to your friends.
Please.
This is city council.
Okay.
I want you out in the community. I want you to walk in a Crafty Canary and sit down and talk to 20 people. I want you going to the Branch Cafe and sitting down and talking to 20 people. I want you going over to, you know,
More than-
house,
more than-
talking to people.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing is that there is no organized methodology. You guys to sit down in the community and talk to folks. You got a job or you're out running around, you're doing your thing. Over once a quarter, it probably wouldn't hurt for folks to sit down and talk to the folks in their ward. And that's something that I saw Nick finally out at Oktoberfest and Miss Mays at Mountain Mining Days. So you see folks out and about, and I see Don every once in a while in the mornings when he's driving out of town in the big truck, but it's not a conversation, right? But having that community meeting where you bring people in, maybe you pick a neutral spot like the community center, right? Where you actually bring people in to have a conversation. Because one of the things you're talking about, Gary, is the simple fact that citizens' comments is a one-way street. There was too much conversations back and forth with Mr. Herron, unfortunately, today, that kind of went against that. But and then emails don't go answered. Even an autoresponder would be nice to say, got your email, I'll take a look at it when I can. If it's important, I'll get back to you. So community engagement.
I mean, you don't know what I do outside of here, and I do have plenty of community.
Didn't I come over and say thank you for that?
No, and I'm not saying that. I'm saying I talk to people all the time. I answer emails when I have the answers for them. I respond to phone calls,
That's wonderful.
to everything.
It's, we're getting off task a little bit.
Exactly.
He hasn't
So this
responded
is
to
where
my
The
emails.
desire is for you guys to sit down, take these and make it happen. We'll keep bugging you.
Right,
next
you're
year.
busy, you're busy.
Okay, no,
Rick will bug you every day.
With that.
I'm willing to listen. I just don't like the idea of the vacant part. As long as it-
That's fine.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
okay. No public hearing tonight. Unfinished business, no unfinished business, new business. I'd entertain a motion of the introduction of ordinance 1210.
I'll make an introduction of ordinance number 1210, an ordinance repealing and readopting Walsenburg Municipal Code Section 7-6-250A, Appendix A, Schedule Section 7-6-250 and Appendix A, Fee Schedule 7-6-380, and repealing resolution number 2020 R18 to place animal impound fees in the Walsenburg Municipal Code.
I got a motion by Don Martinez.
You got an introduction?
I got an introduction by Don Martinez. I'm sorry. Now I need the next part.
The next part.
A motion to take action on ordinance.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 1210. An ordinance repealing and readopting Walsenburg Municipal Code Section 7-6-250A, Appendix A. Fee Schedule Section 7-6-250 and Appendix A. Fee Schedule Section 7-6-380 and repealing resolution number 2020 R18 to place animal impound fees in the Walsenburg Municipal Code.
I got a motion by Don Martinez,
Second.
a second by Nick Vihil. Discussion.
Where did this come from?
Well, I'll give you an example. In the appendix, A, for dog licenses, it's $1. For dog license, okay? There's resolution 20. What was it,
2020.
AR18 that changed that. Unfortunately, when you do a resolution, it is not an ordinance and it doesn't get put into the municipal code. So all this is doing is updating the fees for animal control.
So it's updating the fees that were in 2020?
Yeah, that you,
So we don't have new fees for 2025?
what you just said didn't make sense.
So you're saying that this ordinance is updating the resolution that was passed in 20.
That's
So here we are 5 years later, adjusting the fees for 2025. So why not?
Well, you guys would have to tell us that, I mean, I don't know. I'm just taking it, I mean, it wasn't me that brought it to my attention, it was Jessica over there. But she goes, it can't be $1. I said, no, it's not. And then we found out it's $10. What is it, $10?
$10 for neuter, $12.50 for.
That's what I'm saying, though. That was 2020. Here we are 5 years later, costs are more.
Then as a council,
So why don't we make those fees to 2025
I'm
fees?
not gonna argue with you. It's up to you. It's not up to me. All I'm doing is just telling you all that there was $1 charge in there with the appendix A in the Muni code. All we're doing now is trying to get that up to date with the resolution that was passed in 2020. If you want to do anything other than top of that, then it's up to you all, not me.
I mean, I just feel like those, like animal license fees, I mean, $12.50, $10, they should be more than that.
I agree. You should probably go through all of the appendix A and look at all over and see what, I mean, it's like a $50 business license. Is that something we should have too?
Yeah,
So those are all up to council.
This is first reading.
okay.
And we have
I don't know. That's what I'm just asking
passed
before
first
we,
reading and then we can amend the table before the next meeting.
So at this point, this just puts the fees that we currently have approved.
from
into the
2020.
code.
On a resolution into an
And then
ordinance.
an ordinance, so they get in the appendix.
Right.
The problem with ordinances is that you change this. For example, there's a resolution that used to be a $7,600 charge for marijuana grows.
Yeah,
It was
resolutions don't
reduced to
count.
4,000 on a resolution. But if you look at the appendix A in the Unicode, it still states $7,600. Those are the kind of things that need to slowly be looked at and get
So
fixed.
I would recommend passing the first reading and then we can update the fees to get it up to 2025 rates. Any other discussion?
I'm good with that.
Hyatt have his hand up?
Mr. Hyatt, you got your hand up?
No, it's Kevin Shepherd that does, but
No, he doesn't. No, he'd be down below. Okay. Roll call.
What? I have my hand up. What do you mean?
Oh, hold on a sec. We didn't see who it was. Carmen, you're first.
Kevin, do you have your hand up for this ordinance and discussion on the ordinance?
What? No.
Okay, can you, all right.
My hand's up because I'm just wondering about the skate park stuff.
So, as you said, they did a resolution and an ordinance, but they put all of the fees on the resolution. So
Excuse me?
at the same time, they made an ordinance along with the resolution
In 2020?
in 2020. And the ordinance defined all of, what you're supposed to do and all that kind of stuff. I don't have it right offhand. It should be in your ordinance because all you're putting are the Muni codes. You don't put the ordinances anymore. So then you have to go and look at the Muni code to find the ordinance. And anyway, but it says ordinance 925, but I believe 925 was the older one. Anyway, the problem is that this has come up like 3 times at prior council meetings, that Appendix A is not correct. But until now, nothing has really been done, at least with animal control, because some of the building fees were wrong. There was a whole bunch of stuff in Appendix A that was bad.
Can you possibly keep your comments to the ordinance?
Well, I'm trying to.
Okay.
Because I don't think that this has all of them on it. And the thing is with the ordinance, if you're going to keep the ordinance, it has to reflect, if there's an impound fee of $50, they pay the $50. They don't get a waive it or anything. Because that's what's happening right now is lots of fees are getting waived. If they pick them up and take them to the vet and get them spayed or shot, the city's eating that cost. The city is not taking that to the owners or whoever adopts the animal. So the city's eating all of that. They're not charged, and according to the ordinance, the owner and or the adopter are supposed to pay for those, not the city.
Right.
So they're not collecting all of that stuff. So I think you need to revisit the ordinance too and ensure that everything's being followed according to the ordinance, because the spay and neuter and all of that's not on here.
It says,
On there, as charged by a veterinarian.
it says as charged by veterinarian.
Ryan?
Yeah, it's on there, yeah.
Yeah, so, back when fees were set back in in 2020 and when we were adopting the, Muni code, the strategy was the ordinance would say that fees could be adopted by resolution. Now I'm hearing that fees are all going to be adopted by ordinance, which that's okay with me, but there shouldn't be a reason to require an ordinance to change Appendix A. You should be able to give Municode the resolution changing the fee, and they should be able to do the fee schedule. That resolution wouldn't go in the Municode, but the fee schedule should be. And I may be mistaken, but I think if you adopt this, Dan will say from now on, all changes to animal fees would have to be by ordinance. And if that's what you want, I'm all in favor of making you go through a two-step process. But that was the rationale back then, was to make it easier to change fees.
Okay, thank you. We have anybody else? Stacy?
Just real quick, as far as the amounts go, Denver's only charging $15, but they also do a 3-year and a lifetime thing. It's a little more convoluted, but anyways, but they also do elderly discounts and stuff like that. So just something to keep in mind. I think these numbers are actually okay for right now. And we can address the whole fee schedule in the future.
Well, sir, I think we can have like $5 to the lodging and.
I just would like them to be reviewed.
Yeah.
But I hear what you're saying, like for seniors and things like that.
Okay, anybody else?
Yeah, I do have a comment about this.
Okay.
Who are you?
This is Kevin Shepherd. I'm wondering if where's all this money gonna end up going? All these revenue streams the city's getting from pulling people over and all this stuff, and nothing's happening with the skate park.
No.
It's not on the skate park right now.
You can comment on ordinance 1210. And it's the Appendix A fees on animal control.
In Article X, Section 20 of the Tabor Law, it looks like you guys might be charging, applying taxes to people with the utility bill, without it going through, a vote. Take a look at that and just make sure.
All right, thank you. Anybody else? Okay.
Ordinance 10.
Anybody on council? So roll call. You got anything?
Veronica Mays?
Yes.
Ron Stafford?
Yes.
Fred Eckert?
Yes.
Don Martinez?
Yes.
Ricky Jennings?
Yes.
Gary Mazzani?
Yes.
And Nick Vigil?
Yes.
Okay, I need an introduction.
Introduction of ordinance 1211, an ordinance repealing and readopting Walsenburg Municipal Code Section 22-3-40M, clarifying that it is the city council's responsibility to approve contracts.
I got it.
Second.
I don't need it.
Introduction.
Oh, it's introduction, okay.
Now I need a motion.
I make a motion to approve ordinance 1211, first reading, an ordinance repealing and readopting Walsenburg Municipal Code Section 22-3-40M, clarifying that this is the city council's responsibility to approve contracts.
Second.
I got a motion by Veronica Mays, a second by Nick Hill. Comments?
I'm just gonna say it's a little disappointing that we went away from this because it was going really well. So I'm glad to see it back up.
Nick, go ahead.
Our contracts that we didn't approve, are they legal?
Mr. Hyatt? No, we can't hear you. Still can't hear you, Dan.
You're not muted.
Not muted.
We can't hear you, Dan. I'm sorry.
I've never laughed so hard.
Okay, we'll have to come back. Can you wait till maybe?
Yeah,
comes
I
back?
can wait.
Uh, I think we can go ahead on a vote on the motion without you answering your question. You good?
Yeah, because this is different.
Okay, we'll get an answer after we get Mr. Hyatt's mic to work. Any other discussion?
No, because I just have a question along the lines of it.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Question,
Oh, I didn't see you.
citizens are allowed to speak for ordinances.
I realize that.
So to approve contracts, okay, so yeah, it's kind of gotten a little bit
Testing 1, 2,
out of control, but my question is, for approving contracts, that means that when you're here on the dais only, is when you can approve contracts. Nobody can approve a contract unless they're here at a meeting, at a regular meeting or a special meeting or whatever you make. You can't go out and sign a contract. So, and I sent this to you. And I don't know if you'll answer it, but it was stated that the gun range is being worked on. Is there a contract for that?
It's not being.
No, we set up a committee with 2 members of council and Carl Spolater, and he's working with Crispy Shaver, and they're just in the studying phase.
Studying phase, okay, because at the
Oh, no.
commission meeting, it said that the gun range is being worked on.
Oh, not true.
So,
The law.
They're working on the concept,
okay,
not physically working on a gun range.
okay.
Well, and I believe that Mr. Hyatt's direction was that it needs to be with the majority of city council to approve a contract, right? So
Right.
this is the only place it can happen.
Right, but there have been a lot of contracts that have been signed without council.
You know, that's
That's why.
why this is there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dan has his hand.
Dan, can you hear now?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we got you. Thank you. Did you hear Mr. Vihil's question?
Yeah, could he repeat it?
Are contracts that city council didn't approve legal?
It's actually a more complex question than you might think. So they are not legal if the city has not received a benefit from them.
What does that mean?
But if the city received a benefit, the city is obligated to pay that portion of the contract. So, for example, if you were to have an administrator sign a contract to have someone paint a building, and they paint half of the building, and then we go in, the city steps in and says, no, this contract is not valid. There's a legal theory that says that you have to pay that person for their labor because you received a benefit.
But you can end the contract.
You can end the contract as long as you pay for the benefit that you've already received.
So what if there's a lease that was not what council approved and was signed, in my opinion, illegally, and not what council actually did approve as was supposed to be the lease contract?
Can you rephrase that?
So city council, it came to us, it came back to us for approval of the agreement, but the agreement was signed 2 days after the meeting and it wasn't what was approved by council.
Well, if it wasn't approved by council, it wasn't approved by council, and therefore it would not be enforceable.
Okay.
You can't change it without council's approval.
Yeah, makes sense.
Makes sense, so I'll keep pushing my.
And the reason this is coming up now is we've recently had a number of problems because of contracts that were signed without council approval.
Thank you very much.
Small part.
Anything else?
Yes.
Okay, roll call, please.
Don Martinez,
Yes.
Ricky Jennings,
Yes.
Red Ecker,
Yes.
Gary Bazzani,
Yes.
Veronica Mays,
Absolutely.
I'm sorry,
Absolutely.
Nick Beal,
Yes.
Ronald Stafford.
Yes.
And
Motion carried. Action on resolution 2025 R12, adopting city council meeting procedures.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve resolution 2025 R12, a resolution adopting city council meeting procedures.
I got a motion by Ronald.
Second.
Second by Nick Vigil. Any discussion?
Does this change anything that we're currently doing?
Uh,
I think it kind of spells out some stuff.
yeah,
a
it
little
kind of
better,
spells it
but
out.
I don't think it really changes much of it.
I think this is just something that was done with the motion at one point, and we never really put it in writing. If I remember correctly.
I think you're right.
I think we just had it said in a motion and we never.
Mr. Hyatt, is there a big change here or just a clarification?
Now, there are mostly a few clarifications in the document. You passed a similar document in 2024. My recommendation is that you adopt this resolution every year.
Okay. Okay. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Nick Beal,
Carmen has a question.
Second.
Sorry. I'm someone else has questions. Should be asking lots of questions.
Okay.
What? Oh, see it on the recording. So I understand the resolutions and you want to get out of here early, but that's not what the oath was that you took. So however long a meeting lasts is how long it lasts. And the thing is that sometimes council does things when somebody else knows that, oh, maybe that's not right. You won't allow them to speak. So then you do it wrong. Okay? So, I mean, I don't know what the full answer is, but it's like you're shutting the people out more. And it gets worse every time. And rules aren't being followed. And there's no transparency. Mr. Colander said that there was a budget already. I haven't seen a budget. How is the public supposed to review a budget when we haven't seen one? Because there's a hearing, he said, sometime in November, but the citizens are slowly being shut out. And I know people think I just talk just because, but there's a lot of rules and council's not aware of a lot of them. And so to shut the people out is not a good thing. And this manual, the CML manual, you guys need to read it, all of you, because it tells you about transparency and citizens and standard codes of personal conduct and that you have to work as a team because you're 7 different voices and you should all have a different voice. Well, you might agree on some things, but for everyone to agree with the mayor or the resolution or whatever all at once with no discussion or anything, that's not a good thing. This one says that if, let me see.
Oh, it is possible at times.
Times, yeah. Said it would be strange indeed if all members agreed on all issues all the time. If that were the case, why would we even need 5, 6, or 7, 9 members? And that's true. If somebody says something and everybody might tell you, oh, you know, I don't agree with that, but you go along with it, what good does that do?
So can we get back to this resolution?
Because, you know, citizens aren't given a whole lot of time and can't really say that much. I think council needs to follow the rules too. So it's not just a citizen thing, it's also a council. Thank you.
Okay, roll call.
Ronald Stafford,
Yes.
Nick Beal,
Yes.
Brett Eckert,
Yes.
Don Martinez,
Yes.
Veronica May,
Yes.
Rick Jennings,
Yes.
Gary Bazani.
Yes. Okay, action on a Fairfield and Woods invoice in the amount of 19,234. You have an enclosure. I believe this is for the concrete plant case.
I make a motion to approve Fairfield and Woods invoice in the amount of $19,234.05.
Got a motion by Don Martinez,
Second.
second by Nick Vihil. Further discussion?
I just have a question that, I mean, my name is in here a lot, so I don't know if I should recuse myself.
I wasn't gonna say nothing.
So I just have that question for Dan.
Dan, did you hear that? Veronica's wondering, being her name's in that report a lot, if she should recuse herself.
No, because the issue here is whether or not you should pay an attorney for services already provided.
Okay.
They should have paid me for services.
That's your name's more than theirs.
Should at least get a deduction.
I know, tell me about it.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
We'll start this off with Veronica Mays,
Yes.
Ronald Stafford,
Yes.
Brett Eckert,
I'll say yes, and we need to commend Veronica for the work she put in. Thank you. Into it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Don Martinez,
Yes.
Rick Jennings,
Yes.
Gary Bazani,
Yes.
Nick Beal.
Yes.
Action on gas meter replacement. It's to replace stock from the meter changing project zero read list. They've been working pretty hard on trying to get the ERTs and the
Zero reads.
zero reads less, and they've got them down quite a way, so but they need stock to replace what they've used up to continue. They're missing some parts.
I make a motion to approve gas meter replacement. The amount of $10,880.
You got a motion by Don
Second.
Martinez, a second by Nick Vihil. Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Nick Beal,
Yes.
Rick Jennings,
Yes.
Ronald Stafford,
Yes.
Brett Eckert,
Yes.
Don Martinez,
Yes.
Gary Bazani,
Yes.
Veronica Mays.
Yes.
Okay, next is action on employee health insurance. You have any? Sure.
I thought we were gonna wait and get some additional information and wait till John got back, have a special meeting to approve this by the end of next month, or the end of this month.
So you making a motion to postpone till next month?
Yeah, or to set a special meeting for,
Oh, it's a special meeting.
special meeting for next week.
29th is when's he coming back?
When's John coming back? Does anyone know?
Jessica, do you know when John?
30th. I know it's the day before Halloween,
Yeah, 30th.
End of the month, yeah.
30th. So let's set a special
We
meeting.
do it the
30th.
We can do it the 30th.
Don't tell them about it though.
Well, he better be back on the 30th.
That's fast.
Zoom, you can always Zoom.
Well, if he could Zoom another day, that would work too.
That's true.
We could all Zoom.
Because he said he
I mean, just
can Zoom
isn't it too close?
Zoom, Zoom.
be on this.
I mean, if he could do it Tuesday, that would be great.
It is, I don't know the calendar.
28th.
28th is a Tuesday. I think he,
Thursday's the 30th.
Zoom it, I think.
Yeah, if we could Zoom at the 28th, that would be. That way, at least that gives them a couple of days versus trying to do it on Friday.
make another motion.
Yes, sure. Motion. Can I do that now or do I need to wait?
Do it now.
You can do it.
Okay, let's make a motion to have a special meeting on Tuesday, October 28th at 6 p.m. Can we via Zoom for everybody or just?
Second.
I've got a motion by Veronica Mays, a second by Nick Hill. What's that?
Is it gonna be Zoom for everybody or just for if John needs to Zoom?
If we're gonna take action, I think we have to
Be here in person.
special meeting.
That's my motion.
And we have to take action before the 1st November, so.
The 28th.
Okay. I got a motion, a second on the floor. No further discussion. Roll call.
Second was from you, right?
Yeah.
Rick Jennings,
Yes.
Don Martinez,
Yes.
Fred Ecker,
Yes.
Nick Vigil,
Yes.
Gary Vazani,
Yes.
Veronica May,
Yes.
Ronald Stafford.
Yes.
Okay, next I got an action on appointing two members of council to negotiate the CDPHE on the train B fine. Fred Ecker and I met, we happened to be here on Columbus Day. And that's when CDPHE was on a Zoom call. They're fine, they're charging us $67,000. And it started in 2020 with, Train B wasn't up and running and the possibility of having a thing, blah, blah, blah. That negotiation stage that day, will continue and we can maybe negotiate the fine down quite a bit. And so I'm asking for Fred and I, being as we started it, to go ahead and try to negotiate that fine down. They get it, Fred and I.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
Any motion or?
Yes.
Good motion to appoint the mayor and Fred Ecker as the two council members to negotiate with CDPHE on the train B fine.
Second.
I got a motion by Don Martinez, a second by Veronica Mays. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Discussion on EIAF, option letter number 3. I'm afraid I missed this one. I do not know what this is.
Does somebody in the room know?
B train.
Yeah, that's what this is. It is to be.
Oh, this is a contract.
Yeah, increase.
Oh, okay.
The initial award was 477 and a fund of 58. 500.
Okay. This is the wastewater treatment plant. This actually is to train B, make it operable again.
So that could help in your negotiation.
That should help.
Motion
Surely can't hurt anything.
it's just a discussion. All right.
Yeah, it's just a discussion. That's what that's about. And they're gonna put a cover over everything. So if they ever let one drain, that PVC won't be affected by the sun like it was. That's what happened to it last time.
But that's what I'm saying. So that definitely helps with
That
the
should-
negotiation stuff.
Got a contract and the guys from that company actually called me today wanting a crane, so I was getting ready to start.
What are they covering it with, Gary?
Just the metal.
A metal, good.
Just the, not the sides.
That'll keep the sun off all those air valves
Yeah.
too.
Well, they can't do the sides. Like, there's so much water and, humidity. Keep them out of the snow in the winter and, keep it. from
Make it last.
messing up the PVC, so yeah. The only thing I got under mayor and council comments is we did meet last Monday, I believe, with some people that are opening up Canfield again. They've got it, they started cleaning it out. They got it looking pretty good. They're hoping Department of Health, which is a different Department of Health, I guess, are there and they look like they're gonna help them. And they're hoping to be in construction by early spring, which I take as March. So that's what I got out of it.
And do they have,
Canfield. It's the old
So
factory.
they used to build the
To
houses.
the prison.
Out by the prison.
Oh, is it the group that came out of Pueblo to do that?
Yes. No.
Oh.
Oh, they're out of Pueblo? Yeah. The contractor, the people that are gonna open it are out of Pueblo. Yeah,
Red Feather?
Red Feather?
Yeah.
Red Feather's their name.
Curious, I thought they were actually gonna do house manufacturing.
They are, they're
That's what
gonna,
it is.
That's what they did last time.
that's what they're gonna do. They've taken possession, they have possession of the building. I think they're leasing it, but they are working on it as we speak, so. It is gonna happen. And that's all I got. Anybody on council got anything to say?
I hope we see some financials soon.
Hopefully by next meeting. Okay.
Motion is adjourned.
I got a motion by Don Martinez, a second by Nick Vigil. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Thank you. I don't know why they kept it.
Fuck you guys.
Oh, snap. What do you guys think about that? That was all right. We're going to go ahead and end this out. Appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for watching. I know that was a long, boring meeting, but we have to document. Appreciate you guys. Catch you on the next one.